This entire Mekong village runs on rats. They process hundreds of thousands of them every single day for meat. But what if I told you that it's far from a desperation food? That these villagers are making bank, that rat meat in these villages is now so highly sought after that they're literally importing these things from Cambodia just to meet the demand.
There's a good 100, 200 families here that make a living purely off rat meat.
You see, there's something special, something unique about rats in this area and the processing that goes down in this village that supposedly has them tasting amazing.
How often are you going to eat a rat in your life?
But how can a creature renowned for spreading disease and parasites even be safe to eat, let alone have a reputation like this?
But what the hell? Why are rats from this area so special, in such high demand, that they literally both import them and export them? Let's find out.
Every one of these rats is trapped in the wild, along rice field banks. It's something I've experienced firsthand hunting with my mentor, Xuan. The process is pretty simple, but it is effective. Hunters like Xuan create a huge amount of bamboo spring-loaded rat snares. These are then placed throughout the seemingly endless rice fields over any and all of the nest entrances.
So we are sort of working against the clock here, people. Light is fading and also rain is coming in. The general idea is this: we have a bamboo snare with a piece of rubber at the top. There's a fair bit of tension. You sort of really load these up. Jeez. Sort of really load these up. Oh my God, I have no idea how this works. Oh, here we go, I'm getting professional help. So the big one's on the bottom and then this goes underneath. Got it. Up and through the bottom of the lid. And it's a goner. Hopefully we catch a bunch. We have loaded up this riverbank with maybe 20, 25 snares right now. It is a beautiful, beautiful place. I've got to admit, this snare thing, it's a lot harder than it looks. I tried to load one up myself several times, and let's just say it ended in embarrassment. Not as easy of a task as it looks.
Many of these areas are remote. It can take hours to trek to the inner fields that have no roads connecting to them, and it is hugely labor intensive. But this method is effective, and it provides food for the villagers, prevents crops from damage, and it is more humane and environmentally conscious than the alternative, which is poisoning.
Honestly, we've been trekking through just sort of swampy land for a good 30, 40 minutes now just to get to these guys. I think Xuan really wanted to get a mouse for us, a rat for us today, and just went balls to the wall. This has definitely settled it for me. That thing is no mouse. These things are freaking huge. These are definitely rice field rats.
Cái này cũng có kinh tế nữa. Mùa chuột thường thì mùa chuột có là mùa xuân. Mùa xuân là chuột mùa lúa chín, mùa gần Tết á là chuột rồi rất thơm, rất béo. Cái mùa đó tụi anh đi đánh một đêm á, tụi anh kiếm có thể 2 triệu, 3 triệu, 20-30 kg. Bán người ta có người thu mua, người ta mua xong rồi người ta bán quán. Có quán bán thịt chuột nữa, nhưng họ làm rất nhiều món.
Okay guys, watching this, come on. You cannot tell me that does not look pretty good. Don't get me wrong, there's still that mental hurdle there. How often are you going to eat a rat in your life?
But there are far more rats than the farmers could ever eat. You see, the Mekong Delta is in many regards Vietnam's breadbasket. This one area produces more than half of Vietnam's rice. And Vietnam is the 3rd largest rice exporter in the entire world. Basically, there's a lot of rice here.
Hello, xin chào. Xin chào.
And among all that rice is a lot of rats. And that's where the village of Phu Yat comes in. This tiny village, tucked away on one of the smaller tributaries of the Mekong, is all about rats.
We have just arrived at the rat village and there seems to be rats everywhere. Every kind of rat stuff that I would call a mouse. Here in Vietnamese, everything is just chuk. It's pretty hard to distinguish between a rat and a mouse. There is just one word. Well, I don't know. There's some mice, there's some rats, there's some big ones, there's some small ones. This place is kind of wild.
Every family here has a relationship with trappers. They catch the rats from the vast expanses of rice fields in Vietnam's Mekong Delta and even those stretching into Cambodia. Each day, the trappers bring in the fresh catch by truck or by motorcycle.
Entire truck coming here, delivering tray after tray after tray of rats. Pretty crazy sight.
They bring them in large stacked steel cages loaded to the brim with rats. They've even been roughly sorted by size and color and potentially even species, although I'm really not sure about that. If there are any rat experts, please let me know in the comments.
They sort of scrape along the top of the cages to make the rats move around a little bit. They pick out the largest ones, and the largest rats that are available are all being transported into one container for eating. So we're just walking around. It's not like the giantest village, you know what I mean? Rats can only sustain an economy of so large, but there's a good 100, 200 families here that make a living purely off rat meat.
And when the deliveries arrive, each family quickly springs into action. Everyone from young and old has a role to play here, and there are many, many stations.
And I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of a gory sight at this point. This video almost stands no chance of not getting demonetized, I think. We'll have to see.
First, the rats are quickly dispatched with a rock. The tail and feet are then removed, and the rat is skinned. Next, the ears are removed and kept separate. These are sold as fish food.
Why would you pick up sea monkeys when you could feed your fish rat ears? Perfectly logical, really.
From here, the animals are then gutted. Notably though, if it is a male, the penis is removed.
They sell 1 kilo of rat penises for $50,000. It's like $2.50 for a whole kilo of rat penis. If that's not a deal, I don't know what is.
Finally, it is washed and carefully packaged on ice for shipment to customers all over southern Vietnam.
And so that's it. That's this giant conveyor belt of rat processing that we have here. There must be 200 kilos worth of rats, and this entire family has just gathered around into this giant factory-like process, this conveyor belt processing of rats. What a wild village, man. Incredible stuff.
And as night draws on, families throughout the village keep processing. Despite their speed, it's going to take hours and hours to get through today's shipment. And while it may look shocking, these guys are proud of their work and of the final product. I think it's why rat from this village is so sought after. The labor here is done with a level of care and professionalism that ensures a genuinely high quality of meat. It's 100% organic, wild-caught, grain-fed rat that's fat from the endless supply of rice.
You know, a shrimp salesman once told me that he could charge more for processed Vietnamese shrimp because of the level of detail the Vietnamese factory workers had, that they were good with their fingers and that they were able to keep meticulous condition of the shrimp. And you can see it here. This entire family is so quick and so swift, and every cut is so precise.
Here, it's looked on much the same way as other small game, such as rabbit or squirrel. And so I couldn't leave here without seeing what all the fuss is about. Is rat from this village actually that good?
Okay, so we just saw this lovely lady dispatching what may have been one of the largest rats in this village. She's even agreed to cook it up for me. How kind is that? Let's see how this is. I'm trying to cross this road without dying right now. I don't want to die in the Mekong. At this point, it's probably been sizzling away for a good 10-15 minutes. I mean, seems like they cook these things pretty heavily, pretty well through. That's how I like my rat, actually. Well done. Okay guys, so moment of truth. This is the part where we find out why the rat from this village is in such heavy demand. Why is it that this is getting shipped all around Saigon, Why is it that literally truckloads of these things are being processed in this village? Now, I've eaten rat before, so one I really want to see here is this significantly different from the rat that I've had before by the Chu in Ninh Thuan province? Because this looks really different. This, when it's sort of been fried like this in the oil, has a real look of like fried chicken, and it looks pretty good, I've got to admit. It smells pretty good, and it doesn't look like a rat at all anymore. There's a surprising amount of meat on this, of fat. It looks kind of juicy. Okay, let's check it out. Oh, whoa. Oh my God. That is so fatty. That is crazy. Man. Dude, that is absolutely wild. I've got to admit, really effing good. But this has a real clean flavor. It sort of tastes like a really fatty chicken. If chicken had a ton of fat, it would be just like this. I've got to admit, that's just plain good. No bullshit. If something is bad, I will say it on camera. I'm kind of lost for words. That is a really fatty chicken leg or turkey. Huh. I think maybe the trick when you're eating rat is to just eat something that is literally that big. You really want something that's giant. And I've heard that squirrel is quite good as well. And maybe it's something similar to this, but it has a really clean flavor. It's nothing like what I've eaten before, actually. It's not actually even that hard to eat because it doesn't have that sort of rat-like appearance. I've even eaten rat head before, and compared to that, this is a breeze. If someone served this to you and you had no idea what it was, you'd be begging for more. I promise you guys. I think they even had the organs attached, but I can't see it. I'm gonna dip a little bit in this chili sauce, and then that's a little bit it. Just see what that tastes like. Oh my God, wow. Dude, that's crazy. I know everything is supposed to taste like chicken, but this is like a mix between chicken and pork, super fatty chicken mixed with pork belly. There is so much fat on this creature, I cannot believe it. From a sort of rice field rat, a wild rat, you'd think it'd be scrawny, nothing like the kind of big city rats you see, but this thing, man, exceptional. I don't know what exactly happens in this area, but it kind of makes sense to me. I now see why the rat meat from this area is in such high demand, why everybody wants it, why not only are they exporting it to Saigon, they're importing more of them in from the surrounding villages just so they can process it. This was pretty sensational. That is it for this video, guys. If you have somehow made it this far, I would like to thank you for watching the entire video. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving me a like and a subscribe, and let me know what you think about those rats in the comments. Would you give it a try? Is it similar to squirrel? Are they all the same species? Surely there is some rat expert out there who can give me a true understanding of those species of rats. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.